Okay, so back again. Let's see here. Now that, in all these previous videos, we've talked about blocking, figuring out your camera movement, where to put your cameras, how to light it. Um, we've pretty much got the full plan figured out. But now we just need to know how to translate that plan into action, and let other people know exactly what our plan is. So First way we're going to talk about doing that is through shot lists. I personally think that shot lists are kind of painful. Just like, even as a DP, like handed a shot list, I can't really make sense of it. It kind of gives me, some idea of how the scene is shot. I understand, the shot sizes, what the shot is of roughly, but um, just like an example is if we look at this shot list here, this is from Memento. Um, the shot number 13, Leonard shooting gun, half shaded, light through window. This is good. It gives us some like ideas about lighting, which is nice. Um, and which honestly is more than most shot lists go into. But we dolly out. It's a medium close up of Leonard shooting the gun, um, but like or is this more of like is it a profile shot? Is it straight on? Do we see like what do we see in the shot exactly? Um, it's a little difficult to know. Um, it's Shot lists are definitely helpful for whoever wrote the shot list because they kind of have it formulated in their mind. They know exactly what they're thinking for that shot, but it just as you hand it to more people, that shot list becomes more and more confusing. And I think that as a DP, I can I can read this and I can think, okay, Leonard shooting the gun, like I know how I would shoot that. um, and that's mostly because uh, I do work as a DP, so like it I'm thinking visually, but then you hand it to a key grip or somebody who is not really usually in that space, and they're a little bit more confused about what exactly is happening. Storyboards are another way that you could potentially plan out your scene. Um, they are very linear, which can be really good for action sequences. Um, Basically, they make you think in terms of like, okay, we're going to do this shot, then we're going to do this shot, and then we're going to do this shot. Um, but it doesn't really like, if you have like, most of the scene is covered by this one roving handheld shot that has little bits of coverage. Um, Intermixed with it's kind of hard to think about that when you're writing your storyboards, and then it's also hard to show that. It can be very good for selling your movie as well if you want to show somebody, like what your movie is going to look and feel like. Storyboards can be a really good tool for that. Um, I find that storyboards are oftentimes not really based in reality unless they are picture storyboards. Just because um, storyboard artists, they probably haven't been to the location, and they don't really have any good idea um, of what is physically possible, and if it's physically possible to capture that image with those people in those spots. So um, what I do like to do is take picture storyboards where I think that those can be really helpful, where you have stand-ins, and you just use like uh, a little digital camera or something, and you just shoot picture storyboards with stand-ins. That could be very helpful. The last way to do it, the way that I think is a pretty great way to do it, is overhead diagrams. Definitely the easiest way to block out a scene. And like if you look at this overhead diagram here, um, it's pretty easy immediately to figure out like all the character movement. This woman, I think it is, woman goes in, she walks in, she sits down. We have this camera that starts, it gets her like a wide shot of her coming into the doorway, and then dollies over, crosses the line, and then gets a shot of her sitting down for coverage. And then we have a reverse, two close-ups, and then I believe this one, it's nice is that this one, they not only did they do overhead diagram, but they also included storyboards. So some of the shots that might have been still slightly ambiguous, like I think that this one, it's like a little tough to tell if it didn't have a storyboard here of or any description of if it's a profile shot of this actor or if it's of the notepad like it is. So this is an insert of the notepad. We also have this shot here that starts with sorry everybody. It starts with the actor walking into the room, and we pull back to show them coming in. And then we also have this shot from the exterior where we see these two people looking in on the conversation. So, so yeah, I mean, I think that this just like really shows where all the cameras are going. Yeah, it allows you to see all the cameras at once and get a good idea of where they're all going to go. And it just shows people exactly where to put the camera, where the dolly is going to go, the jib, the actors, things like that. So just some helpful tools. I'll link these in the description. The Shot Designer app, that's what was used to make that diagram before, and then the Artemis Viewfinder app. Really good things to check out. The Artemis Viewfinder app allows you to show kind of an estimation of what that shot will look like on the camera that you're shooting on with the focal length that you're shooting on. So it'll show you what a 25mm lens looks like on an Alexa in Ultra HD mode, something like that. So yeah, for the next video I have a 7 case study, and yeah, that'll wrap up the presentation. So check out the next video. Thanks.